Hey everyone, I'm Shanacee and welcome to my channel where I dare you to live, be, and do. Last week's video was crazy. You guys had so much feedback on that topic. My Instagram DMs were way more than expected, and I had such good feedback from it. You guys were telling me that you want me to do another video similar to the one that I did on dating, so I am doing exactly what you guys asked. Today's video is going to be about what I wish I knew when I was single. For those of you guys who don't know me, don't know my story, I have been married for almost 2 years. Me and my husband dated for like 6.5, 7 years. 4 years into us dating, we decided to be celibate. We found Jesus, like for real, and we got our lives together, and we really started to take ourselves seriously, take God seriously, and really date seriously. So, here I am now, married for 2 years, and there are a lot of things that I wish I would have knew when I was single, and I am ready to share those things with you. So without further ado, let's go ahead and start this thing. So the first thing that I really wish I not just knew, but really understood was self-love. I know it's going to be like, I know you guys probably thinking like, Shanacee, like duh, obvious or whatever, but really self-love, I didn't understand what it really meant. I thought it was, taking a bubble bath, pampering myself, doing a deep conditioning treatment, a face mask, all of that, which is cool. That's more in the self-care category. But self-love is really when you, let me just read a definition to you that my pastor gave me because I don't even want to mess up the definition. Self-love is affirming and spending time with yourself, learning who you are by spending time with God, and He will show you you, dealing with who you are, and teaching people how to love you. That is self-love. So I was kind of at the superficial level of self-love when I was single. And I wish I really knew that definition sooner so that I could really learn what I liked so that I could teach other people how to love me. And I still remember like being in college and I was like, oh, I'm about to graduate. And by the end of graduation, I was like, wow, I really have no full concept of what I want or what I want to do. Like I had pieces of it, but I didn't have a full picture and a full vision. I wasted 3 years just doing whatever. And it was in my 4th year that I really started to go into my self-love journey and figuring out what I like to do and kind of revisiting who I am and where I want to be. So I would definitely encourage you to ask yourself those questions. What do you like to do? What do you want to change about yourself? How can you change them? What are some of the things that you would never change about yourself? It was even small things like finding my personal style. Like, what do I like to wear? Not what's trendy or what is everybody else wearing, but what is my personal style? What is my favorite colors to wear? Just those little things, they help you so much to determine who you are and where you want to go. I have a really good friend, Bianca, my college roommate, who took me through this whole personal style audit. She had me pulling out magazines of, people that I liked and style that I liked and outfits and hair and makeup. And we came up with a whole style profile for myself and what I like. And it was just so liberating to be like, okay, this is me. And then when I go shopping and when I do certain things, I align myself with that personal style. And sometimes I might want to switch it up and add color, but I'm a neutral, nude, black type of girl with a pop of color in my lip. And I feel more confident now that I know what I like. I have an idea of who I am. And so even in those small things, it just helps to develop so much identity and love for yourself. So that is definitely the number one thing that I wish I would have known in my singleness, is to have self-love and to know and get to know myself. Okay? So my next thing is to get examples. Having examples of where you want to be in life are so important. Some of us, we don't have the luxury of having great examples physically in our lives, but we might see them on television, on social media, in some form or fashion. We see these examples of who we want to be. Sometimes examples can be disappointing. They don't have to be, look, an example doesn't have to be perfect. I can tell you I was that girl that never had a role model because I was like, nah, they fall short in this area. Like Oprah, love Oprah, but I'm like, nah, she not married. That's not my 100% example, because I knew that I wanted to be married and I knew I wanted, other things in my life, but she's done so much, right? So find your example. For me, God has really blessed me to find examples in my church. Like my pastors, my leaders are my examples 100%. And I really remember like praying to God, like, you want me to do all this, God? You want me to be saved for real and live this life that I have never seen nobody live? Show me somebody who is actually doing it. And I remember going to different churches and trying different churches and deciding if church was even for me. Going through that process, I found the church that I am in now. And even when I first met my pastors, I was like, they seem cool, or they seem cool, but is this really real? But from me continuing to watch them, I seen that they were amazing in business. They were successful in their marriages and their relationships with their kids. I just seen so many factors in their lives that were things that I wanted in my own life. I'm like, shoot, like I don't have to look no more. Like these are the people that I truly want to be like. And it doesn't mean that I want to look like them, dress like them, or even be like them, even in their personality, but more so the way that they love and live their lives is what I wanted. And having that example has really helped me to know what my future is going to look like and know what I want and know that things are possible. And so I wish in my singleness, especially in my college years and high school years, that I had those types of examples in my life to show me like, okay, you can do this. This is how it's done. Like this is the next step. This is truly possible. You can do it even though you may not have seen it, in your own family or in your own friendships. It's possible for you. And so I feel like that was probably one of the number one things I wish I would have knew in my singleness, is to find mentors, find examples of people who are living the life that I want. Because once you see somebody else doing it, it becomes possible for you. Like babies see us walking around, then they start to get up and figure it out. Every day they're seeing a parent walking, talking. They're trying to do it themselves too because they've seen us doing it. And that's the same thing with us. We need to see somebody getting up and walking out the life that we want to live. If you don't have somebody doing that, life can be very discouraging. It can be much harder than it has to be. So I would challenge you to find those examples, pray for those examples to, come into your life and watch it happen, because it happened for me. And I know God loves me just as much as he loves you. So I know that he's going to do it for you too. So my next thing is friendships and relationships. Like in my singleness, I feel like I picked friends based upon my friends' friends. Like, especially when I got into college, it was just like, oh, you went to this school, or oh, you know this? Okay, cool. And I started developing friends based upon who was around me instead of having like a criteria, like not just because somebody's cute or because we like similar stuff, but more so digging deeper into this person. Like especially with friendships, I realized that now I pick my friends I'm very selective. Like Justin always laughs at me like, you are team no new friends, and I'm trying to get out of that, but it's just I'm so selective with people that I allow in my space, because people will take from you. They'll see some light in you, they'll see some success or goodness in you, and they'll want to attract to you because of that. But when that's gone, or when you're not satisfying what that person wants any longer, they just dispose of you. So you have to be very careful about the people that you allow to get close to you. Some people are getting close to you to be like you. Some people are getting close to you because of what you can offer them. Look at what those people say about the people that they love. Do they dog the people that they love? Do they speak highly of those that they love? How do they talk about their other friends or ex-friendships? How did their old friendships die out? One scripture that I love, and I have said it before, is guard your heart because everything flows from it. And that's so true. Like, don't let everybody in your space. You can have different layers of friends. Shout out to my best friend Chanel for teaching me this. But you can have a different layers of friends. So look, you can have like, say it's like I don't know, I'm going to say like an onion. So you have the outer layer, right? So that can be associates, people who you might just talk to for, like you might have commonalities on Instagram. You might laugh at the same stuff. You might like the same things or have the same job or whatever. Just a small commonality, right? Then you have deeper into the onion. You have another layer of friends that you actually might link up with this person from time to time, or you might see them, at an event or a party or whatever, and y'all are cool and y'all have similar friends. That's another layer. Then you have another layer of friends that might be, people you might have grew up with or whatever, but y'all not that cool. And then it goes into deeper, like then you have your other friends who are cool with you, but you can't tell them everything. But then you have your nucleus, like that middle, that real relationship of friends who really love you. You can tell them anything. You can rely on them for anything. You can count on them. Like those are your people. I can count on my hand how many people are in my circle, my actual circle. And I have a lot of people who are on my outside, and I still, am cool with them. They're cool. But now I know, now that I'm older, like where each person is, if that makes sense. The next thing that I wrote was the importance of family. Family is so important, and I feel like I kind of looked over and like breezed through my family, especially when I was like, I don't know, like 17 and up. Like I didn't value my family that much. I was so ready to get out and get away from family, to be my own person and become my own person, that I neglected family relationships. Like me and my sister laugh about it now because we're really close now. But there was a time when I was younger where like my little sister was just like in the way. I would be like, pushing her out the way, or telling her to get out, or, leave me alone or whatever. But I think once I started really getting closer to God, I realized like I'm her example. I'm what she is looking up to. And I can give her so much love and so much wisdom, so much guidance. But if I'm looking at her as just a sister, or, just somebody in my family, and not looking at her as a soul, as like someone that God gave me to love on, that I'm missing out. And I feel like you can be so tricked trying to get to the next thing and to the next thing that you miss out on your family and the people who really love you. Sometimes we're so worried about getting liked or accepted by people outside of our families that we don't realize that the real value is the people who have been with you the whole time. I love what my husband does. Like whenever he thinks about somebody, he just picks up the phone and calls them. That was so weird to me at some time. I'm like, why are you calling people? You don't know what they're doing. They could be asleep. They could be whatever. But he always calls someone when they're on his mind. And I just love that now. And I try to do more of that too. Like if somebody's on my mind or my heart, like God put them on my heart for a reason. So I'm trying to reach out to them. And even in me becoming closer to God and learning all this stuff, like what is it to learn all this success and learning all of this great stuff if you're not giving it to your family? So just don't play them, don't neglect them, and remember how important they are to you. The next thing that I wrote was to take your time. I feel like my entire life I have been in such a rush to get to the next level in life. If I was in high school, I was so ready to get to college. In college, I was so ready, to be this boss chick, making money and, being in the spotlight and, just going to the next level of life and never being content in the moment that I'm in right now. So that would be something that I wish I would have enjoyed more. I wish I would have traveled more with my friends and just enjoyed that season of being single, because one of the things about being married is marriage is beautiful. It's what you put into it. But there's just a sense of oneness and unity that you have to like live in every single day. There's no more like just you. It's a us thing. And so the beauty about being single is that you can do whatever you want whenever you want. It's just the simplicity of being single and enjoying that time. So I would just say, even now, take your time, give yourself grace. Don't look at what everybody else is doing. Don't compare yourself to somebody else's process and journey. So those are my quick what I wish I knew when I was single. If you guys like these types of videos, which I think you do, let me know in the comments, what was your favorite tip? What is something that you wish you knew when you were single? If you are currently single, what is one of the things that you do now that you absolutely love and would advise somebody else to do? Let's keep the conversation going. Make sure you guys follow me on Instagram. I have my stories up every single day on there. I'm very interactive on there. It's actually one of my favorite platforms. So make sure that you guys follow me on there so I can stay in touch and have day-to-day conversations with you guys. I want to thank you for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Done.